experience that I've had representing nonprofits and charities in the court. The reason why I thought this presentation was particularly important and could help was because this is really the two pillars of good due diligence and risk management. Legal advice that's proactive, that has policies in place, and also ensuring that you have good insurance coverage, and that you understand. And that's the way to mitigate risk for your organizations. You know, a great proportion of nonprofits and charities serve the most vulnerable people in society. And of course, that's where the greatest need is. But with that, the flip side is that there's increased liability that comes along with that. So you've got to make sure you have these proactive policies in place, legal advice, and insurance. So I'll just take you through a small overview of what I'll be covering. So first one will be know your venue and prepare, the changing landscape of insurance and coverage disputes, charities and not-for-profits and litigation, and preparing your narrative. So the first one, know your venue, location, location, location. This is one thing that often comes up with clients. Everything matters in terms of where you are and what court you're going to be in front of. So much changes in terms of potential strategy you might have. All venues are not created equal, whether they be a court or a tribunal. So one big consideration that you want to make when you're looking at either what you're facing or what you want to potentially choose to do, because you won't always have a choice, but sometimes you will, are what are the different kind of the good things and bad things about the different venues you can face. So that's what I wanted to take you through. So the first is the Superior Court of Justice here in Ontario. And you can think of that sort of as our default or inherent jurisdiction here in Ontario. The good thing about being before the Superior Court is that with respect to costs, and a lot of times charities and not-for-profits unfortunately are on the defending side, you have a chance to get back at least a percentage of your costs, and potentially even 100% of your costs in very good circumstances. Now most of the time you're hitting somewhere between 30 and 40%, you'd be lucky, but the courts have it in case law, kind of that big stick. If either one of the parties are being particularly egregious, or their actions are egregious, they can slap them down with what's called substantial indemnity costs, which are around 7 or 80%, or even full indemnity costs. And when you're facing a long-term lawsuit, whether you have insurance or not, legal costs can be one of the worst things. Litigation costs, unfortunately, can sometimes overrun the damages that are sometimes at issue. And understanding what venue you're in will help you make that choice about when you want to settle, what can actually be achieved, and ensuring that it's so sad to see people going for that principled victory when it's not necessary. Because you can win, but it be completely pure. You can spend twice the amount on legal costs. And that, in terms of protecting charitable assets, is not something that you want to do. So the second part of the Ontario Superior Court of Justice is something called simplified procedure. And that's, I kind of think of that as a normal plane with jetpacks on. You have a very small amount of time to go through the different stages. You still have all the availability, the costs, and scope of what you can ask for, but you have to complete it in a certain timeline. You're also limited in terms of what time you can spend on discovery. That is for claims between $25,000 and $100,000. But in those types of claims, it can be very effective to use, as I said, both the costs and the cost kind of stick and the scope of jurisdiction that comes with the Superior Court. Then when you get to the very bottom of it, kind of the Superior Court, we get the small claims court. It was kind of originally, I think, envisioned to be a people's court, I think. Unsullied by its lawyers and with a strict goal of, natural justice. I kind of thought they must have been thinking like it was a Judge Judy thing, but it just didn't work out like that. It just didn't work out. Originally, it was only supposed to be a $2,500 limit. Now it's up to $25,000. But the bad thing about it, you get stuck in small claims court, or if you choose small claims court, and we can talk about that a little bit later, is that you can get back a max of 30% of the amount claimed in legal costs. So that's a really small amount. Say you get sued for $15,000. You're only getting back a max of $4,500 in legal costs, no matter what it took you to run that complete trial. So that's one of the significant downsides to being in small claims court. And one of the reasons that if you can avoid it, you absolutely want to. The next one is the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario, an essential jurisdiction, essential venue for us here in Ontario, and a place for us as Ontarians to go if there has been a breach of the Human Rights Code. However, there are significant attributes of bringing a claim in the Human Rights Tribunal that you need to know. I always think of the song, Welcome to the Jungle. That's what pops into my head when I think of going to the tribunal. There's some big differences. You're not in Kansas anymore when you end up in the Human Rights Tribunal. Here's the reason why. Especially if you're a respondent in an application for the Human Rights Tribunal. Even if you are completely successful at defending your claim, this happened. We had a 5-day hearing before the tribunal. 5-day hearing, you can imagine all the prep that took. We completely won. We had the application dismissed, but the respondent cannot ask for a penny back of their legal costs, no matter how unsubstantiated the claim was. So when I say it's that at best a Pyrrhic victory, it's very true. It's at best a Pyrrhic victory. Yes, you won, but at what cost? You've cleared your name, but you don't get anything back in terms of cost. So when you're thinking about a potential suit and the venue, that can become a very important factor. The last is private binding arbitration. And this is something that you can either select beforehand by contract. So this is one of the proactive steps that you can do. You can have it written in your contract that says with an employee or somebody else that should claims arise, it should be subject to private arbitration. Private arbitration offers, you basically get to create your field. Instead of being subject to others, you can literally choose the governing law. You can choose the rules. You get to choose your arbitrator, and you get to choose what costs may be at issue, and whether or not it gets appealed. I just recently had a case. We had a wonderful victory, saved the client $6 million. Bam, 29 days later, notice of appeal. It really kind of takes the wind from out of your sails, to say the least. So the great thing about private arbitration is you have a chance at the beginning to decide how you want this to go. Usually you'll get a former judge to be the arbitrator, so you're getting usually that quality of decision-making and fact-finding, but without a lot of the length and costs that are associated with it. So the next slide talks about what I've just been discussing, and these are the factors that come into play when choosing your venue. Just going to skip ahead here. This is a sample of some important lessons that I've learned over about a decade worth of cases. The great majority of cases, especially when you're in front of the Superior Court, are going to settle at the second stage, which is called the discovery stage. And this is about a year or two into the action. Actions before the Superior Court, if it's not simplified procedure, could take up to 5 years. But most actions will settle somewhere between 1 and 3. The discovery stage is kind of when everybody puts their cards on the table. Here's the evidence, you've got to produce all the evidence that you think is relevant, and you have a chance to test the other person's case by interviewing them under oath. The next point is litigation and dispute resolution is a human process that seeks justice. Uncertainty must be assumed and planned according in all aspects. You can go, and I'm telling you, everybody that goes to court is assured that they are going to, well, most everybody is going to win, that they have justice on their side. Judges also are imperfect. right? We're all human. Lawyers are imperfect and human. The judicial process, while we strive for something greater, is a very human process, and there's a risk, and that presence of uncertainty is something that you want to take into account before you make decisions about whether to settle, whether to advance a claim, or into what venue you want to take a claim. The next point is 99% of the time, neither party leaves completely satisfied. And that goes to what I just talked about. Judges often like to kind of split the baby in half. Both sides go away with a little bit, neither side's completely happy. Unfortunately, that's what judges will often do. And unless you go to appeal or there's a point of law, you're going to be stuck with it. So the changing landscapes in terms of change coverage and resulting conflicts. Because I'm short on time, I'm just going to explain it generally. Can't cover it well. When your organization changes, when their programs change, you want to make sure you're communicating with your insurer. Because there are so many times that we are before the court trying to get coverage from an insurance company. But because of a failure to notify, or some other thing like that, or possibly not informing them that they're going on a mission trip, building an extension to the church, they get a denial of coverage. So having that open communication directly with your insurer, keeping them updated, and also keeping it writing is essential. So charities and not-for-profits and litigation. Just the big thought is that charities and not-for-profits are just as vulnerable as any other corporation to litigation. Not only that, there's a couple of statutes that actually allow for charity-specific litigation. One of them we were involved with this year under the Charities Accounting Act. There could even be a public inquiry that people have spoke at previous church and charity law seminars on. They could be subject to a public inquiry under the Charities Accounting Act. There is a lot of broad scope of situations where charities could be involved in litigation. In terms of a couple of examples we've had before the courts, I won't go through all of them, but one of them has to do with an application, the top one, the brown, is an application under the Charities Accounting Act. And the applicant was actually the charity. It was a shotgun approach where they sued absolutely everybody, the former board. They sued even a group of police officers that had consulted with the board. Massive application before the court. Took 2 years to have the application heard. We had it set aside, hundreds of thousands of dollars of costs ordered in the end. We were successful. The judge was very clear at the end, and the courts have been clear. They don't like to see charities in front of the courts dealing with internal matters. They're wasting charitable assets where they could have solved something internally. Judges don't have a lot of patience for that. So this slide goes to something that the judge actually turned to me in the middle of the application and said, and this is to do with why preparing your narrative is so important. Turned to me and said, Lucy, you got some explaining to do. That was for me the next day. So when I got up, I told the judge, as Lucy, I'm here to do some explaining. So we started on a good note. But the overall idea behind this is you need a narrative, a story, but it can't just be one individual's recall in their memory. You need to anchor it in evidence. Keep a written documentation. Make sure that you communicate with your insurer and other parties in writing. Because that narrative, even if you have an excellent story to tell, unless it's tied to something more than just an individual's memory, will be a very weak case. So the last thought is you can take control of managing this risk. As Ken said very well, it can never be eliminated. It's about managing it, especially since so many charities and non-charities and not-for-profit reaches those vulnerable persons in